Is it possible then, without pretension, that the form becomes a kind of discipline that you want to master that particular form in order to move into something else, and therefore the form can becomes a signature, but also as in a sport, right? You need to keep controlling this particular movement, this muscle in a sense, right? So that you can then master it. So therefore the form becomes discipline. It's rigid, but yet it's disciplinary.
Sometimes you have to recognize a form because it doesn't necessarily conform to what you think a form is, and you mightn't a writer be defying you to find him pretentious? I think Whitman is doing that almost all the time. Mm-hmm. Vigil strange I kept on the field one night. He begins his poem. Vigil strange I kept on the field one night. And in a way, the inversion of the adjective and noun, he doesn't say, strange vigil I kept. Vigil strange I kept. If you're not sympathetic, or if you're still learning to hear Whitman, you might say, oh, that grammatical inversion is pretentious. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Vigil strange I kept on the field one night when you, my son, and my comrade dropped at my side that day. One look I but gave, which your dear eyes returned with a look I shall never forget. When you get that far in the poem, you realize the degree of intimacy and formality is extraordinary. And the degree of sexual feeling, paternal feeling, elegy, grief, it's on such a particular, exquisite note that it's striking that he has to be a little nutty formally in order to get there. Vigil strange I kept on the field one night when you, my son, and my comrade dropped at my side that day. One look I but gave, which your dear eyes returned with a look I shall never forget. One touch of your hand to mine, oh boy, reached up as you lay on the ground. Then onward I sped in the battle, the ever-contested battle, till late in the night relieved to the place at last again I made my way. Among other things, I read it as a fantasy. I mean, Whitman was not in battles. And it doesn't feel like he was really in a battle. It feels like an imagining, and he had to find a form that made that imagining, gave it conviction. In a way, discipline is a term that belongs, but conviction. Mm-hmm. In a way, that's why form is like the parallel bars. It gives me conviction. Vigil strange I kept, it's elevated, and the reason it isn't pretentious is that he needs the elevation.
But also he's in some way earned the right to do that. I don't know how else to say it, but I think there's something in here that we're talking about, something to do with authenticity too, and I don't think everybody has an automatic or the same level of a BS detector, but I think there's some of that though in trying to weed out what you think is pretentious, and maybe it's just that you don't, understand a basic kind of hurdle that you would need to have entry into the poem, but I don't know, I think that we have to be we have to trust the poet if we're going to give them license to use what seems to be elevated language that doesn't seem like them.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying you do or don't.
Right.
In this case, I feel it's so beautiful, it's so good that one does. Right. And you feel, I don't know what the whole history of attitude towards homosexuality was in 1865, but you can feel a kind of trembling at his own daring, a kind of assertiveness, a fantasy, and the parallelism at the end of the poem. Ending my vigil strange with that vigil of night in battlefield dim, vigil for boy of responding kisses, never again on earth responding. Vigil for comrades swiftly slain, vigil I never forget, how as day brightened, I rose from the chill ground and folded my soldier well in his blanket and buried him where he fell. Folded my soldier well in his blanket, folded my soul. And so you would fold, he's going to be buried, he's died. Folded my soldier, but it's an erotic word, and he either does kiss this man or he doesn't, only imagines it. Folded my soldier well in his blanket. It's pretentious until it's great. It's the best I can do.